Sports Story. So I thought Sports Story was going to be a part of this indie showcase, and maybe because of that, they also actually came out. So another Aussie developer, there's a lot of great Aussie indie developers at the moment, and they seem to be all in single states, you know what I mean? Like Queensland, Victoria, South Australia, like,
It's
it's
good.
pretty
There's less
cool.
chance of them spreading COVID to each other.
Exactly, exactly. But, I was really pumped to hear more about this game because Golf Story is a really cool game. Came out in the launch year for the Switch. And, the successor to that, Sports Story, they were going to tackle more sports. And then they've basically come out and said that the game has become really, I think the game has become rather ambitious. And it's moved from coming out mid 2020 to just TBA now. But you would expect it coming out next year. Like, that would be pretty crazy if they extended it longer than that. It's not the kind of game you'd want to be spending 4, 5, 6 years on. But yeah, they seem to be in a bit of bother. Did you ever actually play Golf Story?
Yeah, I probably played it before. Oh no, maybe I didn't play it before you because you had a Switch before me. But I remember that we had another friend of ours. It's like no. The reason I bring it up, we have another friend of ours that may even be listening to this. It's like, oh, Golf Story's awesome. I'm like, man, that game is like 2 years old.
Yeah, I think you're confusing me with someone else.
But the thing is,
I'm quite offended.
I'm
By the
not
way,
having I'm not having a go at them because it's a great game, right? So I'm glad that they got to play it. I actually only played probably the first couple of hours of it, and I've always left it there on like the homepage of my Switch or whatever you call it, and just never kind of felt in the right mood to play it. But I will go back to it at some point.
Yeah, and I loved it, man. It reminded me of the Mario Tennis games on GBA, and it's just such a cool game. And to your point around have you played it before me? I think I bought the Switch on day one that it came out, and I actually bought this game, Golf Story, on day one when it came out and played it. So no, I'd probably doubt it that you've done that. But you look like ultimately it goes back to the Miyamoto-san quote around and I'm gonna butcher it right now because I put myself on the spot. But I've actually forgotten the quote. It's something like a great game. No, wait, a bad game that's released early is bad forever, but a great game that's delayed can be great forever, which is terrible. A telling of his very eloquent quote, which I should have never mentioned. Because it kind of doesn't apply anymore because you can update games. So I think there are many examples of bad games that have become great games. So,
but talking about another
save
game
me from
that's been
myself.
delayed,
Save me from myself.
another game that's been delayed is Arkane. So Dishonored, Dev, and Prey and whatnot. So they're pretty kind of, I wouldn't say it hyped because people always keep forgetting about it, but the PS5 launch exclusive Deathloop, the stylish first-person shooter where you could apparently play as the assassin and the target and whatnot, and it's got like a whole time gameplay hook to it. That has also been delayed, and they've actually specified Q2 2021. So it's a shame. That would have been a good, get. That was a good get for Sony to have for their launch, but obviously circumstances have prevailed.
And look, like there's a bigger topic here, but do you think there's any chance still that the consoles or one of the consoles will get delayed to 2021?
I don't think.
When I say the consoles, PS4, PS5, sorry, and Xbox Series X.
I don't think so, but I think what we might see is some regions not launch. Like normally would do, most of the regions would get the consoles at the same time or within the same week. I think they may choose to be a bit more selective if there's any, I guess, limitations there. So, obviously the US market, you'd imagine UK and that. So I think no, but it might affect it for some regions.
Yeah, that's just interesting because you don't really see launch games getting delayed that have been announced as launch games. There are games that were intended to be launch games that never eventuated, and we found out later, but I can't actually think of any examples off the top of my head of games, and now we've had 2 in the space of a week that have been delayed post-launch, which just, I don't know. The fact that we still don't know when the consoles are coming out, how much they are does make me question whether there is a chance that one of them will pull the trigger and delay it till, Feb next year, and they'll both just follow suit. Yeah, I still think that that's a possibility. I think it's more likely they'll release, but, there is still a chance to me.